crediting. So I see Bartertown is here now, so we can get
What's
this
going
started.
on, Forex?
Working a ton, getting us prepared, handling a ton of marketing, preparing a schedule and marketing. But I'm excited to talk about our launch date and Dog's crediting date. So I'm gonna let people know about both of those today.
Bullish.
Yeah.
So remember, guys, we're the strongest community in crypto, guys. This is what we've been waiting for, anticipating the launch of the Animal Farm, and this is only the beginning of the DeFi revolution. We went through different several months of the market doing X, Y, and Z, but we're still able to, even within recent time, do a 2x and drip when the market conditions are uncertain, and we're going to be blowing past anybody else's expectations with the kind of development that mighty leader Forex Shark has been able to put out there for our community. All these other devs, they have to look our way to get inspiration. They can't even come up with their own ideas because we're basically setting the trend for DeFi right now. Everything else is there's no innovation, but what we're bringing to the table is innovation, and we're bringing a massive community-owned, community-driven yield farm, and just all the products within this ecosystem has profit sharing. These other devs don't do that, but what we have here is very special in the community. So we have to salute Forex for being this type of developer, bringing this to the table for us. It's an opportunity, a wealth transfer that we're going to be participating in, and we're all just excited to just hear more information about what we got coming up.
Yeah, so the beauty that this is a V2 means that we already have tens of millions of dollars ready to go, both for a value transfer from those who are in it for, the short, they want a pump and dump type situation. That is virtually impossible in V2. They end up just migrating all of their capital to people who are in it seriously and who are actually using our products. And then we also have a huge marketing budget because with V1 we didn't have any CMO. It was essentially me and my partner handling everything, right? I was handling development with him, managing the community. Of course, we have, community leaders that were doing a major job as far as marketing and promotion, but I'm talking from like a core team perspective. It was just me and my partner. So we were able to build up a significant amount of capital for marketing, but we weren't able to put a lot of it to use just because handling a marketing budget, reaching out to all the different people that we want to work with for marketing, filling out all of the applications, doing all of the scheduling, negotiating all of the deals, and then once you have that marketing up, tracking it to determine where is this traffic actually coming from, where do we need to put more resources. That's more than a full-time job. That takes at least a couple people just doing that. So as people know, as far as like my integrity goes, if I'm not using capital that's allocated to something, then it's still there. It's still sitting there ready to be used. And that's the beauty of it, because almost all of the marketing capital that we raised with V1, which is significant, it's very significant, we have it for V2, and we're about to put it to use for V2 because now I have a CMO who has 20 years of experience. He's extremely skilled. We worked out all of these different tools that we can use to track where traffic is coming from, and I want to get into that, some of the competitions and stuff like that we have set up. And also, he has people working under him, so it's a true CMO role where he has his team that are doing the scheduling, that are doing the reaching out. So right now, as far as Twitter, we have over 50 million followers worth of Twitter influencers ready to go and scheduled. We have a Twitter space with a a Binance essentially contractor, someone that works and is very well respected at Binance. We have a Twitter Spaces scheduled with him, so we could do an interview in front of his audience, which is over 500,000 followers on Twitter. We have a competition that we designed that is one of the most bullish things, and I think it's something that people are going to be extremely excited about. And it's essentially,
before
yeah,
you get into the competition thing, I think what people need to understand too about some of the marketing and some of the different things that we got going on. Like we earn yield from the back end. Some people think that maybe marketing budget comes from somewhere else. Like a lot of what we have is innovative. Like we're just what Animal Farm is could potentially be the quote unquote forever farm, where you see another yield farm, they don't survive because all it is just this inflation. They're not earning anything else, but maybe they have a DEX or something like that. But us, essentially, we're a farm that earns yield on the back end. So this creates this what would we call it, forex. This creates this loop that keeps us sustainable going. So it's like this the innovation behind the animal farm, the funds that come from different places, it feeds itself. What we have here is more unique than anything else in the space. Now I just want to
yeah.
add that.
So that's very true. So we do have several. Actually, the whole ecosystem is a series of positive feedback loops that set up incentive structures to have people use the products, stay in the products longer, but also gives us cash flows that are not coming from the sale of our assets or coming from us dipping into, investor dividends. Our marketing budget, 100% of our marketing budget comes from our back end lending to PancakeSwap, which is generating capital that otherwise, we would not be generating. So, a traditional farm would take, some percentage of the deposit fees, or they'd be getting paid the native token themselves, and they'd be selling it on the market to create a marketing budget, or they would be paying the marketers in the native assets, and then of course the marketers dump it. We don't have to do any of that because we're earning 30 to 40% APY on all of our collateral, on all of our products. And this gives us a sustainable and significant marketing budget. So we have like a high six figures marketing budget ready to go before we even go live. And it could even be more than that. But I know it's definitely high six figures. And then we have a significant amount of capital that's ready to be injected into the pig pen that was allocated for that. And we're just waiting for the farm to go live. And we also have the governance system, which we'll be using for a crowd vesting model where we can allow the governance stakers to vote on where a small percentage of that capital that's being generated through the rehypothecation is staked. So the way that we'll handle that is through a several layer voting system where first the community kind of votes on it open and freely, and then the winner of this vote, or say the top three, it goes towards a proposal phase where the team reviews it, makes sure that it's a secure, sustainable, it makes sense. Most likely we'll be doing this with our partners, so when we bring on partner vaults, stuff like this. And then that capital can go staking into third-party contracts and then used to generate profit, which then goes towards governance staker injection. So a lot of this capital, essentially all of this capital that we're using to sustain our products, none of it comes from the sale of our native assets, and none of it comes from dipping into capital that would otherwise be going to investors. We're not dipping into like dividends. We're not taking additional fees to handle any of this. It's all being generated on the back end, which is something that's innovative and no one else is doing. So, should I go right into releasing the dates, or because there's so much I want to talk about, especially from a marketing perspective.
I think with dates we can push it a little bit further out. Let them wait. We should come out with a couple more things. I think that'd be a good idea.
I
Yeah.
think it's important to understand
Well,
that we've been
that's
up
great.
and running. Hey,
Subscribe, guys. Subscribe to Drip Guys channel, by the way.
Thank you, Ray. I think it's really important. We're talking about all this exciting marketing that's going to be happening, and I think it's important to recognize that Drip Network has been up and running perfectly, flawlessly for more than 16 months, and our token has outperformed every other altcoin on the market with literally zero paid marketing. Like all we've had is Forex doing AMAs, YouTubers like me doing videos on YouTube, but we have never had any paid marketing, I don't believe, in this ecosystem. So it's really exciting to see what's going to be happening with this marketing blitz that we have coming.
Yeah. So with Drip, we had a pre-sale for Drip where we raised, a relatively small amount of capital, and 10% of the capital we raised for Drip was allocated to marketing, but that was just in the pre-sale. So we spent that money in the first, 6 months or whatever, and it really helped us. Like, we did put some jet fuel on our adoption and on our growth that really helped the ball rolling. But once that ball was rolling, we really haven't spent that much. I spent some money out of pocket, but we don't have any, fees associated with Drip. There's no developer fee. There's nothing like that. So it's really community-based, and it's based on a well-designed referral structure. Whereas with Animal Farm, we have a significant cash flow allocated specifically to marketing that we can take advantage of, and that we will take advantage of. But more importantly, we brought on a team that's going to help us manage that capital in the most efficient way possible. So with the launch of Animal Farm, we developed a landing page. So it was very important to us that when we set up these different marketing vehicles, such as YouTube ads, I just did an interview 2 days ago with a woman that does professional interviews with major sports athletes and news platforms, and really, really great interviewer. And she's very pretty too, which obviously helps with marketing. Everybody knows that. So I just filmed a YouTube ad, which will be running on a ton of major channels. And these are the YouTube ads that play before a video and in between, like, live streams, like it goes to break. And we're targeting this ad on major channels. So, for example, BitBoy, he doesn't do paid marketing anymore. You can't pay BitBoy, whatever, $40,000 to do a video just about your product. But you can, if you know how to do it, direct ads specifically to YouTube videos, specifically to BitBoy's videos. So you're having your ad play before BitBoy's video, in between BitBoy's video, and after BitBoy's video. So we're focusing heavy on that. We're focusing heavy on Twitter and other social medias. And we have a very strong competition that we're designing right now, which will be on the landing page. People will be seeing the landing page going up very shortly. I'm about to give dates on all of this, by the end of the interview. And what this competition does is it gives a score based on different tasks that the person who hits the landing page can do. So we were thinking, how are we going to track where our traffic is coming from, what ads are working, and how are we going to create a call to action, meaning a something that catches the eye of the person that sees the ad and makes them want to click the ad immediately. And one of the best ways to do this is with a competition. So we're going to have a competition where people who are forwarded to the landing page through different marketing vehicles, whether it's banner ads, whether it's YouTube ads, whether it's promotion from major Twitter influencers, will have a chance to win up to 5,000 BUSD for clicking on the ad, hitting our landing page, and then doing a series of tasks. Each task has a point score associated with it. So you get a series of points for following our Twitter account. You get a series of points for doing specific retweets and likes. You get a series of points for joining our Telegram group. You get a series of points for putting in a valid BSC address. You get a series of points for giving a referral code associated with the ad you saw. So this way, we can look at what referral codes people are putting in to know, okay, this person came from an ad on BSC Scan. And then we can look and say, wow, 80% of our traffic is coming from this ad on BSC Scan. Let's put more resources towards that. So these are things that we've never done before, and really no one in DeFi is doing. People in DeFi, they kind of like to treat it as if it's a completely unique and brand new market. But a lot of the utility that we're providing and a lot of the way that we're onboarding users can be, or we can take advantage of what's working in traditional markets that we know works in traditional markets, and almost no one is actually doing this in DeFi. So one of the very important things that we wanted was to have a solid landing page. So when people go to our site, they immediately know what is available on the site. They're hit with something that incentivizes them to join our social media, not just links to our social media, but hey, you're going to win money, or you had a chance to win money if you do these tasks, if you follow our social media. We made a video specifically for our vision, where you go to the landing page and you see a video that's discussing our products, our vision, our roadmap, why they should be getting involved in our platform. Then we have essentially a written vision. We have out-facing articles. So one of them, for example, is the BSC News article that we just did. This way, when people go to our landing page, they're immediately hit with articles about our project from major crypto news sites, and this allows us to use their branding and gives a sense of legitimacy, because they go to our site and they see these major platforms. We have testimonials, and the way that we set up our testimonials is we're using an industry standard for traditional markets. It looks like what you would see on Charles Schwab or any of the major banking sites that have testimonials. Very, very solid look. And then we have all of our partners. We have links to all of our in-house articles, such as Medium. We're using the branding of MetaMask. We have our audits there, and we're being very liberal with it, so we can use as much branding as possible. So essentially, if we put an ad up on BSC Scan, they're going to be there on our page using their branding. If we put something up on Cointelegraph, we're using their branding. So when people visit our site, they're seeing the branding of all of the top platforms in the space. Now, this landing page is made for people that know next to nothing about crypto. And it's made to walk them, basically hold their hand and walk them from the point of what is crypto to this is how you use our products, and this is how you take advantage of our products. And currently, if you look at the old site, you go there and you're immediately hit with our products. And this is an issue because if you're doing Twitter ads and you're doing YouTube ads, and especially if you're doing some sort of contest where you're incentivizing people to visit your site to win money, you're going to get a lot of people that don't have any idea what any of these products are about. And if they're going right to the product page, you're not going to have a ton of engagement. They're going to go there and say, what is this? I don't know what any of this stuff is, and they're going to move on. Whereas our site, as soon as they hit the landing page, they see, here's a chance to win free money. Do this, do this, do this, do this for your chance. And now they're completely plugged into all our social media. They're in our Telegram group, and they're going to get onboarded. They're going to get onboarded to Animal Farm. They're going to get onboarded to Drip, right? Because once you join our groups, then the referral structures start to work. Then people start onboarding them because they have their own motivations to onboard people through the referral structure. Right below that competition, because they need to see the competition first, there's the video. So we make it very easy, right? Just sit back and watch a video. And this video basically takes them to the point of, here's how you set up a wallet, here's how you everything from A to B, how you get involved in crypto. Below that's our vision, and this is speaking specifically to our products from a overview perspective, not getting into the super detail about it, but just what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then testimonials and articles, which allow them to get an idea of what people are liking, what people are using, get more info about the projects through the links to articles, and then a ton of branding for major platforms through our our partners. And basically, if you can, a lot of people do this, right? A lot of the big projects do this, where someone will a developer will go through a McDonald's drive-through, and next thing you know, they're putting McDonald's partnership on their website, right? We're not going to push it that far, but we're going to use as much branding as possible in a way that's that's legitimate. So that's very important. That's the landing page. And then on the landing page, there's a button to go to DApp. You click go to DApp, and that's where you go to our homepage. And our homepage, actually, let me post an image of the homepage. This is
Alpha.
This is okay. So this is the way that our new homepage is set up. So you see that it's way more professional than our current or our old model. It has an institutional feel. It's way cleaner. You see there's 3 tables there. One table is for our pools, one table is for our farms, and one table is for our other products. So we'll have some data about the pig pen, some data about the dog pound, some data about the piggy bank. That will be in the 3rd table here. Then we have some unique mechanics or unique aspects about our farms and pools below that, and then our products. So then you get a short description of our products and a way to forward over to them. That way, now when people hit the landing page, it's not just there's a long list of different products that they can use, but with no explanation of what they actually are. Here, when they hit the homepage, they get a full description of what every product is, why they should be taking advantage of it, and how to take advantage of it. And the site can be easily navigated from the links at the top, but also from hitting the forward on the different products that are listed here. And this is so much better for new users. It's so much cleaner. So I noticed, because there are so many bad projects out there in DeFi, and PancakeSwap made it so easy for people to just basically copy their code base and make their own farms that everybody was doing it. So if you use PancakeSwap's layout and you use PancakeSwap's code base, and then you go to try to get promotion from a serious player, someone that has 1 million followers and really is only interested in promoting major legit projects, they're going to be turned off from that, because they're going to hit your website and they're going to see, oh, they're using the PancakeSwap code base like every other project out there, and immediately they're turned off. So we want to ensure when we launch ours, we're not using any code base that any other platform is using. We're using a completely unique code base. This way, when people hit our site, they know it's something new. They know from first glance, this is something unique and something original, and maybe it has value. And then when they scroll through the site, they're pitched the value of all the products we have on the site. So this is what they hit after the landing page, and it's a major improvement on what we currently have.
Yeah, I didn't know we were getting an entirely new user interface for Animal Farm. That looks absolutely amazing. Great job.
Yeah, it was important to me. It was very important to me. So what we did, so I brought on a new dev who makes institutional grade UIs just to build the UI. He has his partner designer who I've been working with to design the new site. So we have we have an independent developer and his team specifically on the UI design, and we've worked hand in hand. Now people can see, if you look at this image, the value in the table, of course, it's listing a couple pools. This is obviously because we don't have the contracts hooked up, but when the contracts are hooked up, these tables will be displaying values that are accurate. Of course, we can't display the APY on the dogs token before the new dogs token is live. So, but this shows you the new layout and the new feel of the site, and the everything, the dashboards, the farms and pools dashboards, completely different, way better. So, like when you visit the pools or the farms, at the top it shows the current market cap of our assets. It shows the burn rate of our assets, how many have been burned, what the circulating supply is. It gives a ton of info that's unique to our platform that no other farm or pool is utilizing, because they're all using the PancakeSwap code base, and we built something completely original. We have so much value and so much originality to our contracts, right? The decentralized dynamic emission rates, right? Our emission rates that look at the demand for our underlying assets and adjust emission rates based on this demand. This is something that no other yield aggregating or lending protocol does. We do that. We have a full governance model, which is not just vote on these surface level proposals. If you're in our governance model, you're earning as an owner of the platform. You have a serious weighting on how we move forward, as far as partnerships, as far as new products. You have a say on where a percentage of the yield we're generating on the back end is staked, whether it's through partner vaults, whether it's through a new Ethereum 2.0 node. We have so much flexibility there. You have a say in, for example, so the main reason why we went to a V2 is because PancakeSwap switched their emissions on Syrup Pool from V1 to V2, and they ended their V1 emissions. This cut off a $30-40 million cash flow to us, and of course that's major, right? That's capital that we use to reward our investors and pay for marketing, and it helps pay for our future development. For example, a lot of developers, they take a dev fee, and essentially that's their money for their pocket. When we say we're taking capital for development, we actually use it for development. That's how we funded this Pigpen game, the Dogs of Fortune. We funded that with capital that we raised that was allocated for development from Animal Farm. And we've completely built the contracts of the game, and we're about 90% done with the UI for the game, completely funded from capital that came from the collateral rehypothecation on Animal Farm, the percentage that was allocated towards development. Same with the Dogs Roulette game. So being able to have these different utilities that are unique to us really separate ourselves from everybody else in the space, And it was important to me that we have a UI that represents that. That people don't hit our site and see the same UI that they see on every other site and dismiss us. So our new UI really accomplishes that, and it's something that was important to me, and I'm proud of. Now, to speak a little bit on date.
Quick question. All right, before we get into all of that,
Okay.
at what point are we going to start accepting inquiries, or what's our process right now regarding the partner vaults? How should potential partners reach out, and what kind of time frame or timeline could they expect with being able to be in the vault, like after Animal Farm launch, or should they be coming to us now? Like, at what point should we start looking at certain inquiries?
Okay, absolutely. If you have something that you think is worthwhile of hosting on our platform, so let me just discuss what the partnership vaults are. And this doesn't just go with our partnership vaults, Scratchy as well. This ties into Scratchy as well, because it's possible that we could do a dual partnership, and we've already secured some partnerships for Scratchy that will have partner vaults in Animal Farm as well. And because Scratchy is buying back the native assets of the people that are using our white label service, and it's able to use those assets that it's buying back for a reward structure, it makes an amazing partnership opportunity for Animal Farm as well, where people can pair our native asset with their native asset to earn dividends in their token, and the dividends that's coming from their token is coming from the buyback mechanism in Scratchy. So they don't even need to hand over a percentage of their supply. They don't need to inflate their supply to have a partnership vault. It can come from the buybacks from Scratchy, which is significant. That's anywhere from $70,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars every day worth of their assets that are being bought back that can be used as reward in our partnership vaults. So to speak on them reaching out, you can reach out, and you should be reaching out now. And you can reach out to Stonecutter, and you can reach out to Bartertown, and you could reach out to Yup, right? But I would say Stonecutter, he is our project manager. He's the one that it's his responsibility to be handling these sort of reach, this outreach. But Bartertown also does an amazing job. So, you can reach out to him as well. And right now, if you reach out to us, we could start planning on a potential partnership. We've already secured several partners, both for Animal Farm and for Scratchy, and a couple of them are for both, like a full integration into both. And we're open to working with a lot of different people. So Scratchy is the threshold for someone using our service for Scratchy is way lower because it's a white label service. There's no crossover risk or anything. Essentially, anybody that wants to, that can sell tickets, can use our white label service for Scratchy. For Animal Farm, there's a bit of a higher threshold for who we're willing to partner with. But if you have something that is a solid project with a solid community, and you want an incentive for people to be adding liquidity to your token, and you want exposure to our massive community, if you look at the current numbers, right, we had 90,000 plus transactions last month just on Drip alone, right? Not including any of our other platforms. And that wasn't including all of our contracts, because none of these analytics sites are pulling the data from all of our contracts. They're typically only looking at the token itself, where we have all this other stuff that's going on, the compounding. Like, if you consider the compounding and the trading we're doing on our native DEX and all of this, our numbers would likely be tenfold what they are. But still, even the numbers that we have when they're not even including all of our contracts, we are number one as far as a fully independent platform. Now, you can look and see, okay, PancakeSwap has higher transactions, but 99.999% of those transactions are not with their native assets. They're people just using the exchange. Those aren't people trading cake or using any of their, native products. They're people using the exchange. If you look at just independent transactions of native assets, we are number one, and we blow the competition out of the water. So if you want exposure to that, reach out on a partnership, and we can likely do something. When the new UI goes up, and I'll talk about those dates, we will have a tab specifically for partnership applications. And it's a full application where the deployer, it's very similar to, most people don't know how this works, but if you want to get on BSC Scan, you have to fill out an application, then you have to do a signature, on-chain signature from the deployer wallet to prove that you are associated with the actual project. And and we're going to use a very similar system, and this will allow us to filter out, the meme tokens that, are doing nothing, and the pump and dumps and all of that. And it's going to filter out the illegitimate requests for people that have nothing to do with the team. So we have a UI for that. That will be going up on the new website. And immediately when the new website goes up, people can use this. But I wouldn't wait for that. If you have something of value that you want to discuss for partnership, reach out. Reach out to Bartertown, reach out to Stonecutter, and we can set up a meeting. So I have meetings all day, every day. I'm doing 4 or 5 meetings every day, multiple hour meetings between the different dev teams, between scheduling marketing, between working directly with the CMO. I'm in meetings all day, every day. Looking at potential projects that we could raise for the DAO, right? We have a couple right now that are ready to go. I'm just deciding how are we going to schedule it, because I want to put our full focus into Animal Farm and Animal Farm promotion. I don't want to take any eyes away from that. So this is why I've kind of we have some raises in the DAO, but I want to wait until the promotion and launch of Animal Farm is finished until we give any attention to that, because this is a fully concentrated campaign that we're about to do for Animal Farm, like nothing that we've ever done, like nothing that any DeFi project has ever done, because we're bringing in a marketing team that is very experienced, 20 years experience in traditional markets. So this marketing team that we brought on, they've been working for the past 20 years on social media marketing for traditional businesses. And they have it so dialed in that there were like so many things that no other project's doing that we didn't even think of. It was like second nature to them. It's like, we're doing this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. This will bring in users from here. We'll be able to track it this way. Stuff that like Raid Shadow Legends type marketing, where you go on every YouTube video and you see, this is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, that kind of thing. This is what they specialize in, and this is what they're bringing to the table. But also, we're partnering with 2 major crypto marketing firms, and this way, we have the network and the direction from these crypto marketing firms, but we're not putting them in charge of managing our budget. We have someone that is very skilled and is working directly on our team that is properly incentivized, because he's not getting paid per service. He's getting paid directly from bringing traffic and bringing capital into the system. So we're about to do marketing like really like no one has seen before in DeFi. And as soon as people see the landing page, they're going to realize that, because we're using tools that no other crypto project has used, right? So let me talk about the dates. Okay? Okay, so
One more. Last one.
okay,
Then we can get into the dates. Then we can get into some other questions too. This is another one, a very important question. A lot of people ask this question just in general, right? About the audits. So, what's our auditing status? Where are we regarding the animal farm audits?
okay. So we have some audits from Paladin, right? So that are complete. So when so our main focus, right? Because I don't want to talk badly about auditing companies, but a lot of these auditing companies, they're doing scans, they're doing surface level manual read through the contract, but they're not doing intensive testing of the contracts. They're not doing intensive testing of the full ecosystem integrated together. So this is why I hired a dev to come on as a third party. He's actually the developer that built Scratchy, right? I brought him on just to audit and test as a third party developer. He built none of Animal Farm. So he's coming on as completely fresh eyes, an extremely skilled developer, to take all of the completed contracts, manually read through all of them, deploy them on a sidechain, and then set up scripts that are doing thousands and millions of transactions from tens of thousands of different wallets to stress test the hell out of our whole ecosystem. And this is something that you wouldn't get from an auditor. And this is the kind of testing that really isn't done in any DeFi project, as far as I'm aware, because no other DeFi project is hiring multiple devs just to come on to do testing. So at high level devs, right? We're paying them a lot of money to come on and do this, on top of the third party audits we're doing through branded auditing companies. So we have some Paladin audits complete, right? And they'll see that on the website. We're in the process of giving contracts to Hacking, so we could have a hacking audit. We used a open source auditing suite, which is a suite of tools that anybody can access and run the audit themselves. This way, they don't have to rely on the trust of some third-party auditing system or even our team. They can run the auditing software themselves to do their own independent audit, and that will be available on the site as well. So we're gonna immediately, right, from day one, we're starting off with 3 branded audits, right? Paladin, Hacking, and then this open source auditing software. And then we also brought on a team just to do testing and auditing. So, every other project I've done from previous to this was just me and my partner, right? Me and BB. We built it all. And that worked, but also there's only so much you can do with 2 people. And we have such a large investor base, so much capital on the line, that I want to ensure that what we're delivering is above and beyond the standard of the space. We're setting a new standard as far as our quality, specifically security and testing. So, we're going to continue to, but we've spent a ton of time testing, and this way our investors and myself can come into this project with full confidence, right? 100% confidence that everything has been tested to every possible degree and everything has been used. And this is another reason why I waited so long to give a launch date, because I did not want to give a launch date until everything was thoroughly tested and we got initial audits done. Because if something came up in testing, but we had a launch date and then we're rushing to solve these issues while we have a launch date, and we're just rushing to ship something, that's when issues come up. And I did not want there to be any possibility that anything like that happens. So we went from having a 2-man team to now we have you could call it an 8-man team, right? You however you want to consider it, anywhere from like a 7 to like a 12-man team. Each person is a specialist in what they do, and they are ensuring that everything we deliver from this point on has a standard that would be on par with any major technical company. So, a Facebook, a Twitter, that's the kind of standard that we're bringing to DeFi. And I felt like that's something that I owe to the community. It's a commitment that I wasn't willing to waver on, and it's something that we've been able to deliver. And we will be opening up. So let me talk about dates now. Okay, people are waiting for dates. Let's give some dates. So the roadmap, right? The full roadmap. So we want to handle dog crediting before we do any kind of focused, strong marketing. The reason for this is because we have something like maybe 30,000, 40,000. I'm just going based on the Telegram accounts. 30, 40,000 users who are going to be credited. I don't want to be doing extreme promotion, bringing on all of these new users, but have the conversation when they get here be about crediting. Like I want the concentrated marketing campaign to be 100% about launch. So when new users are hitting our Telegram group, they're immediately getting hit with conversation and info about our launch and about our new projects, not about crediting. So the way we're going to handle it is, let me just pull up my calendar. Okay. On the 15th, so on the 15th of September, we're going to be doing the dogs crediting. So between today and the 15th, the new landing page and the new UI is going up. The landing page will be before that. We're going to try to get the landing page out by the end of next week. That way, we can start running some ads that hit the landing page, and we can start the competition, early, essentially. But on the 15th, that's when we do the dog crediting. And the way that will work is we're going to do the dogs crediting on the old UI. That way, we don't have any kind of confusion for new people hitting the new UI about crediting. If someone's brand new to the platform and they see something about dogs crediting, they're going to wonder, what is this? Why can't I use it? We don't want to cause any confusion in that sense. Now, the fact that we are doing the dogs crediting and we have dogs credit is a huge bonus for launching on V2. The reason why it's a huge bonus is twofold. For one, the fact that we already had a V1 means that we have a huge budget, right? We have a multi-million-dollar budget when I'm talking about developing, marketing, and capital allocated to rewards, pigpen injections, that kind of thing. We have a multi-million-dollar budget. So we wouldn't be able to have a multi-million-dollar budget if we were starting from day one. That's a huge benefit to us. And then the fact that we set up this special dogs vesting model with the variable tax, where the tax that's applied to the dog token goes to paying a BNB dividend to the dog's stakers and the pigpen stakers, means that from day one, we have a capital pool worth tens of millions of dollars already allocated to reward distribution. So anybody who, whether you've already held dogs and you're going to do the smart thing and put those dogs into various staking, whether it's in the farm to start earning pigs to get your share of this distribution in the pig pen, or you're staking it to the single asset dogs to earn your share in BNB and also reduce your tax. Or if you're someone that's brand new to the system, that's buying dogs on day one or farming dogs on day one, you know there's already a capital pool worth tens of millions of dollars that's ready to go for this value transfer if those who are credited decide to dump on day one. So it's a win-win scenario. It's a scenario where if people who get credited dogs on day one decide to stake them to start earning yield and reduce their tax, those are dogs that are locked up. They're not hitting the market, and they're staked from true users, right? That are earning B&B. If they decide to dump, then that's tens of millions of dollars worth of BNB and BUSD that goes to the people that are not dumping, which is a huge incentive for new buyers and new people to get into the farm. So it's a win-win. And most likely what will happen is that the vast majority of people will stake. Some small minority that maybe have no idea what's going on, they're not paying attention, there's always that small element. They will be generating a ton of BNB and BUSD for the pig pen and the dog pound. So because of this vesting model, because of the incentive structure, and because of the various utilities that we have on our platform, and the mechanisms such as the dynamic supply control, rehypothecation, because we have all of this set up, the governance, our assets are designed to perform from a price perspective. So I've said it before, if you can design a token or an asset that either pays out super high yield or has super high price performance, both are good, right? Either way, you're going to be generating profit for the users, and as long as that profit is significant, it's good. But if you can have more of that come in the way of price appreciation, it's better from a promotional standpoint, because that's when people see you're trending on DEX tools, people see the pumps, everybody likes to buy when the price is pumping. So that's better from a analytical and promotional standpoint. And our new vesting models allow for that more than any other yield aggregating or lending protocol in the space. There's no other yield aggregating or lending protocol that has this kind of incentive structure that will be locking up so many of the tokens and also have the ability to reduce the emission rate down to deflationary if we do have a price correction, to allow for the kind of price performance we're going to see. I don't believe, it's not I don't believe, I know there's nothing like it in the space that is designed to pump in the way that we're about to, way more than V1. V1 didn't have this vesting model at all. Any dogs that were bought or aggregated through farming on V1 could immediately be sold on the market. Even with this, once we went down to once the emission rate adjusted, well, first of all, dogs had like a 20x pump just from day one. Then we had a slight correction, and then the emission rate adjusted, and we started seeing price performance again. So that was without any of the vesting loyalty structure. With the loyalty structure, we're going to blow that away. I mean, it's just math. So we're about to perform like you've never seen any other yield aggregating or lending asset perform, just based on the mechanics of the system, the game theory of the system itself. And then when you consider the marketing that we're bringing on board, we are really set to take the number one spot as far as any kind of yield aggregating or lending protocol. I am fully confident that we're going to be in that number one spot, and we're going to maintain that number one spot because I mean, I can't predict the future, but I cannot think of any way this model can be significantly improved upon. And we're starting off at kind of a unfair advantage because we already had this V1 that allowed us to get a huge capital pool, and we have the massive drip community, which creates a network effect. So, we're starting off with a massive budget and a massive network effect. And then we have the products and the mechanics that are levels above anyone in the space. So even if they just had to copy us, we already have that huge network effect. We already have that huge budget. And then with the new UI, with our team that we've built up, if we do anything less than take the number one spot and maintain the number one spot for years, I'll be shocked. I will honestly be shocked. Now, to continue speaking about the roadmap, so the full UI will be up by the 15th. The landing page itself, we will try to get up within a week, but it will definitely be up by the 15th. The docs crediting will take place on the 15th, off the main UI. We're going to do it on the old site. We're going to do it on the original site, right? The one with the butterfly on it, because we're using the same domain for the new UI as the old one. So the 15th, that's when we open up dog crediting, and the full UI will be up by then. As soon as we finish the when I say finish, I just mean open. As soon as we open up the dogs crediting, that's when the competition starts, and that's when a huge wave of banner ads, articles, Twitter influencers, YouTube ads, major YouTube interviews. We already have about a half a dozen YouTube interviews with people that are outside of the drip community that have millions of followers. We already have that scheduled. And then we have, of course, a huge amount of people from our own community scheduled. And we have a ton of others that are in the process of being scheduled. So YouTube is going to be a massive push. The YouTube ads themselves is something that's very unique that we're doing that a lot of DeFi projects are not doing. But we're not just doing it ads, right? We're doing it ads that have a specific call to action that will incentivize people that are maybe even noobs to crypto to join. But then in order to get involved in this competition, they have to do tasks that get them in our groups. And it also allows us to track where that traffic is coming from. So it allows us to more easily determine where we need to put our resources. All of the major sites, BSC Scan, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, Dex Tools, DAP Radar, CoinGame, Cointelegraph, all of these major sites, we have banner ads are already locked in and scheduled. We have someone that's a professional in making banner ads, making the banner ads. We may have some kind of competition for banner ads. In fact, let me just say it. If you can deliver on a series of good banner ad templates, so I would say create some banner ads with the typical resolution and size that is standard, and create a suite for them, and we will pay you for them. So we have a professional banner ad maker that's making banner ads right now. He's pumping them out. But anybody in the community, if you're good at making these kinds of things, just make them. Because if you make them and you get in touch with Bartertown, or you get in touch with Yelp, or you get in touch with Stonecutter and say, hey, I just made these, if they're a quality that we could use, we will pay you top dollar for them. So I just want to put that out there, because we may or may not have a open competition. Really, I want to make sure that the banner ads we're using are not just what the community could. There are some extremely talented people in the community, but I want to make sure they're professional. So we're actually going to professionals to make the banner ads, and we're paying them their rate and all of that. But I know there's some extremely talented artists and developers and producers in our community. So this is not just for banner ads. This is for anything. If you build something of value that will be of value to us, we will pay you. Get in touch with Stonecutter, get in touch with Bartertown, and we can schedule something. We can schedule a meeting. So the 16th is when we will open up the dogs crediting. And the reason for this is because we want to have the dogs crediting finished before our major campaign. That way we don't have a ton of conversation about the dogs crediting while we're marketing to new users. The way that the crediting will happen is if you held dogs or were owed dogs at the point of the pause event, you will be able to claim your dogs. Those dogs will be paused essentially. So you'll get them in your wallet and they'll sit in your wallet. You won't be able to do anything with them until the farm goes live, but they'll be in your wallet. And they'll be in your wallet for the run-up, the whole marketing campaign. If you had LPs, you could decide to claim the LPs that you were owed, or instead of getting LPs, to claim dogs. Now, the reason why you would want to claim dogs instead is because we only have so much ability to program mechanics into LP tokens. LP tokens are issued by PancakeSwap in this case, and they're a standard token. There's no way to change anything about them. So we're able to do more and reward higher with the dogs token than we can in LPs. So if you had LPs at the point of pausing, you could decide, all right, I want to get LPs or I want to get the same dollar value of dogs. So say you have $100 worth of LP tokens, you can claim those $100 worth of LP tokens or claim $100 worth of dogs. If you decide to claim LPs, those LPs go into a staking vesting pool where you earn 35% APY on them for 50 days. And every day, 2% of those LPs, 2% of your LP principal is unlocked. And at the end of 50 days, those emissions rates stop. By that point, you'll have been 100% unlocked. So if you want to withdraw those LPs, you can. And then you can decide, all right, I want to put them in the new MasterChef contracts where I can earn a higher APY. Or you want to unpair or whatever you want to do with them. If you unpair them now, of course, you will get back dogs and BNB or dogs and BUSD. That BNB that you get, will just be regular BNB or BUSD. Those dogs that you get will be under or will be the loyalty system is applied to those dogs like any other dogs. So when you unpair, those dogs start off with that 90% tax, and now you can either stake them in the dog pound to start reducing that tax while you earn BNB, or you can decide to not unpair them, put it in the new farm where you're going to earn pigs at a higher APY than what you would earn in the crediting pool, or you can decide to use those dogs for any of the other products that involve, dogs or dog LP tokens. So what's going to be the most attractive to people is that what's going to be the most attractive to people that hold LPs is crediting yourself in dogs instead. That's what's going to be most attractive. But, of course, people that had LPs, if you want your LPs, you could get your LPs. We're never, we would never do something like, oh, you had LPs, but we're not going to give you your LPs. Like, if you had LPs at the point of pausing, you have the option to take LPs. But if you decide to take dogs, what happens is you get the same USD value of the dogs that your LPs were worth. Those LP tokens that were allocated to you now get locked. So now that adds more locked liquidity to our dog's liquidity pool. You get the dog token, and now you can decide, I want to take these dog tokens and put them in the dog pound so I can start earning BNB and reducing the tax by increasing my loyalty score. Or I want to claim the dog tokens, get credited dog tokens, pair them with new BNB or new BUSD, and put them in the new V2 farms and the new V2 pools, in this case farms, to start earning a higher APY in pigs. So if you decide to get credited LP tokens, you go into a vesting pool that you earn dogs. So you earn dogs at a rate of 35% APY, and your principal gets unlocked at a rate of 2% a day. So at the end of 50 days, you will be 100% unlocked, or you can decide every 2 days to unlock your 2%, but still at the end of 50 days, it's a cumulative. So at the end of 50 days, you will be able to unlock 100% of your tokens. So the more attractive thing to do would be to credit yourself in dogs, because then you have access to the dog's loyalty contract, the dog pound, and you have access to the V2 pools or farms where you can earn a higher APY, and that APY is coming in pigs rather than coming in dogs. So that's the way to go, but we're not going to restrict people from claiming LPs if they want to claim LPs. So there's also the migration contract. So we have created a UI which allows people who have kept their capital in the V1 Mastership contracts to migrate from the V1 Mastership contracts to the V2 Mastership contracts without paying a deposit fee. So this is a thank you to people who did that, and that's just the fair and the right thing to do. So we set up a UI that allows for that, and the functionality that allows for that. On the 16th, so we're going to be starting marketing before the 16th, but on the 16th, that's when we know the new UI will be up. That's when we know the dogs crediting will be open and finished. We'll be past that. We know the landing page will be up by then. So that's when the competition starts. And that's where the heavy marketing, the heavy paid marketing happens. That's when all the banner ads start to go up. That's when the Twitter influencers start to go heavy. And at that point, we're going to have a full month promotion, and then we go live. So our live date is going to be Tuesday, October 18th, right? That's when Animal Farm is going to go live. So that is the date that we're going to be promoting from this point on. The reason why we chose this date is so we can have the dogs crediting complete. We can have the new UI up, the new landing page up, the competition ready to start, all of our audits finished, and then a full month of heavy concentrated marketing. But we're not going to wait till then to do the marketing. So in the time between now and the 16th of next month, or let me just see. The 15th. Between now and the 15th of next month, we're going to do heavy community-based marketing. So we're going to be doing interviews, multiple interviews a week with a ton of the influencers that are in our community. This way, we can get everybody aware of what's going on, get everybody on the same page, start to promote those dates, let everybody that was in V1 know that on the 15th we're starting crediting, and on the 18th of October we're going live. So between now and the 15th, that's going to be our focus. Promoting this date within the community and promoting and letting people know that on the 15th, Dogs Crediting is going live. Right. And then from the 15th of August, wait, sorry, not August. Of course, from the 15th of September to the 18th of October, that's going to be heavy marketing outside of our community. So on all of the major promotional and different marketing vehicles. So those are our dates, and those dates are set in stone. So we want to be conservative with our dates. That way we know there's no way we're going to have any delays, because we're about to put high six figures into marketing these dates. So we needed to have a date that is conservative, that we know there's no way we would need to have any kind of delays. But we need to have the Dogs Crediting finished, and we need to have the new UIs go up, and we need to have at least a month long of run up marketing. And then of course when we go live, we're going to continue this marketing, and our marketing budget will grow significantly even on day one when we have that huge wave of initial TVL come in. So these are the dates. Okay, so I'll say it one more time. On the 15th of September, Dogs Crediting opens. Dogs Crediting opens. By the 15th of September, the new UI and the new landing page will be up. On the 18th of October, everything goes live. So these are the dates we're going to start promoting. I'm going to be extremely active, right? You're going to see me inside the chat, all around Telegram, doing a ton of interviews from now until the 15th. A lot of community stuff, a lot, going on with Thomas, going on with Black Sheep, going on with Stunner. Really outreach within our community to get everybody on the same page about when Dogs Crediting is starting and how they can start promoting right from outside of the community. And then we have our fully concentrated paid marketing campaign on all of the major vehicles between the 15th and the 18th of October. And this is, I cannot wait until you guys see the new UI and the new landing page, because especially the landing page will give you a great idea on how strong our marketing is going to be, because you're going to see on the landing page tools that you've never seen before from a DeFi marketing campaign. You're going to see the YouTube ads going up. You're going to see major influencers all over social media promoting us. So like I said it earlier, maybe not a lot of people were on that, but we have over a combined 50 million followers worth of Twitter influencers ready to go on Twitter. We have at least a dozen Twitter influencers that have over 1 million subscribers by themselves, and they get thousands of engagements for every tweet. And these are not people that are in our community. So we put a heavy focus into bringing on influencers that are not involved in our community at all, that have their community and their following have no exposure to Drip, have no exposure to Animal Farm, because I feel like we've done such a great job at growing our Drip and our Animal Farm community that a lot of the low-hanging fruit, we've already taken advantage of that. but there's still a ton of major players that are outside of our community that we can focus on, and that's what we're going to use our marketing budget for. So in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be you're going to be seeing the landing page go up. You're going to be seeing the new UI going up. You're going to see me making the rounds in all of the community influencers, getting everybody prepared on the launch date, and getting everybody prepared for the dogs crediting. And on the 15th, that's when the heavy banner ads go up. Really, as soon as the UI goes up. But I'm giving the 15th as a conservative date. But as soon as the new UI and the landing page goes up, then we start our heavy our heavy paid marketing campaign from outside of our community. And then on the 18th, when Animal Farm goes live, we have a very specific kind of marketing we're doing on that at that point, specific to our individual products that are forwarding people to those products. And this marketing campaign will get piggybacked right into Scratchy, where we're going to be able to bring our momentum that we've built up for this month and a half of marketing right into marketing for Scratchy, which will be promoting the launch of Scratchy, but also the the continued use of Animal Farm. So those are the dates. Get out there, share them. We're going to be making the referral system available very early on. So you're going to be able to start referring people to the site and earning before the farm goes live, right? That's very important to us. There's a lot I could speak about to the like our products on Animal Farm, but do you have any questions, Bartown, or do you have anything to say?
I got the community got a lot of questions, so I had the community they posted different questions, and then these questions got upvoted the most. So one of them is from Drip Coach. Shout out to Drip Farming for Poverty. He asked a great question. Check this out. So with the new marketing products and team growth, it is clear you are moving the Drip ecosystem in the direction that it has never been before in crypto. So you're creating a company with various products and multiple divisions to support those products. So as the visionary and CEO, I know you don't like to use that term CEO, and you could break that down too, but what is the singular tagline you feel best represents the ecosystem and vision you have in mind that we as a community members and content creators can echo, so that way everyone is on the same page and is truly creating like a brand or a company identity that changes the game? So does this tagline factor into the brand archetype? So like, what's the brand archetype? So we're going with the new UI is going to be Charles Schwab inspired. Even the Animal Farm interface is a way more professional interface. So like, what's your vision for what we're going to go into now? And how should us Drip influencers and community members like adjust or adapt to how the changes are coming? Like what's going to be our identity, you feel, moving forward?
Yeah, so I would say what we represent is integrity, value, and innovation. And what we will be doing over the next couple of years is taking all of the major financial instruments and bringing them to DeFi. That is my goal. That's what we're going to do. We're going to bring privacy. So, everybody knows what happened recently with Tornado Cash. That happened because those are doxed developers that have registered companies in the U.S., right? They're registered in the U.S., and they made themselves a target. There was no need to make themselves a target. They could have had a fully decentralized model that doesn't have a CEO, that isn't a registered company in the U.S., and that's the reason why they got targeted, but some other privacy models were not targeted. So I want to take true value, the true use cases that we need in DeFi, and bring them to the market. And right now, there are no yield aggregating and lending platforms that do it right, in my opinion. There's none that allow for true sustainability, that have all of the incentive structures and just do it right from A to B. And that's what we're bringing with Animal Farm. With Drip, we have a variety of new products that we're bringing to the table. So the Dogs of Fortune game has a very unique use case for Drip that people are going to love. And that's from day one, right? So there's a lot that I want to do, but I want to stay kind of hyper focused over the next 4 months by the end of the year of getting out Animal Farm, getting out the products that we already have developed for Animal Farm, and then moving to Scratchy. Next year, my main focus is going to be privacy, insurance, and lending. That's going to be my main focus next year. And our vision is really bringing innovation, integrity, and value to DeFi. There are a handful of solid DeFi developers out there. I was just in a developer group I'm in, and I was telling them, I was serious when I said this, right? Give me a year, and right now, Drip is the top project on BSC, the top independent project on BSC. As far as transactions, as far as onboarding new users, as far as outperforming all the other altcoins when you include our yield. And I've learned some lessons.
The whale watcher, even the whale watcher, the top, I think is like 2,000 whales on Binance Smart Chain. They're using Drip the most out of all the other smart contracts.
Yeah. And what I told this developer group is give me a year, and we're going to have 1, 2, and 3. We're going to have the number 1, number 2, and number 3 top projects on BSC. We're going to do it. And I want to do that by the end of next year. And that's absolutely reasonable to do, because the 2 major projects that I want to deliver on next year have the ability to do that. Scratchy has the ability to do that. Animal Farm has the ability to do that. So, I really see us bringing institutional grade financial products to BSC. From my opinion, the really good dev teams, they're focusing on the wrong things. They're focusing on building their own chains, because that gives them a level of control, but it also gives them a way to cash in, like major, because whoever builds their own chain controls a huge portion of the supply of that native chain's asset from the start, and they become instant billionaires. I mean, that's so the really good dev teams, they're all creating their own chains because it makes them instant billionaires. That's really like that's where their mind's at. With me, I don't care about being a billionaire, right? I'm wealthy. I have more than enough money. What I care about is actually bringing products to the existing chains that we have. We don't need more chains, especially if you look at what these other chains are doing. They're essentially just BSC clones. Like, we don't need more BSC clones. We need actual value and actual products that people that are not in DeFi now will want to use, because they're getting the same value that they would get from their bank on chain without needing to rely on some centralized institution that could freeze their accounts, that is paying them out in a highly inflationary currency like USD, that is paying them yield that is so small it's not even outpacing inflation, and they get away with that because they have the backing of the government, and they have full control over the currency supply. So there's no competition there, right? There's a monopoly where a very small handful of banks that work together control the whole financial model of the whole world. And it doesn't need to be like that. Smart chain networks have the ability to recreate effectively all of the financial products that are used right now in the traditional economy. No one is building them because all of the top dev teams would rather make their own chain and become instant billionaires than actually building something that will take DeFi to the next level. And I think that's a mistake. I think it's short-sighted. And my vision is to bring products to the existing chains that bring value and are kind of the killer apps for DeFi. And I want to drive the adoption of DeFi by making actual products that people want to use, not just another way that people can hold, value in on chain, right? Not just another Matic or another AVAX, or like I could list a million of them, and all of them, like, they might have some small little thing here and there that's unique, but essentially they're just BSC clones. And BSC has the backing of Binance, which is the number one exchange in the world. They've shown very solid decision making. They have their own vision, which seems to be making BSC and making BNB very efficient and giving a space for developers to really be able to develop on. And I'm going to stick with them as long as they are the number one chain in the space. Now, I'm in the process of going back and forth with them because I think that they could give us some more love and that we deserve it. And I'm in talks with them. Like, there's some things that they've done that I'm not happy about. There's some gatekeeping going on with Drip. But even with the gatekeeping, we're still number one. So I'm working on knocking down those gates. And eventually, right, we've been around for a year and a half. And, we've knocked down almost all of the gates. But there's still a couple more that came up due to our success. Because, the squeaky wheel gets the attention. We're the biggest platform on BSC. We get the attention of everybody. And then people that are decision makers that don't take the time to learn the protocol, they have their own opinions about it. And we don't have a direct connection to them. So that's what we're currently working on right now, is going back and forth with Binance Smart Chain's core dev team to try to knock down some of these gates and get a greater integration with our platforms and our contracts, specifically Drip. That we don't have this issue with Animal Farm. We don't have this issue with Scratchy. We don't have this issue with Reap. It's Drip, and it's because of the team referral structure. So anytime I get any pushback from a gatekeeping perspective, I get the response of multi-level marketing, right? And anybody that knows anything about Drip and takes time to understand the game theory of it knows that when someone does a positive action, it pays out one referral bonus. It pays out one commission. Just like Amazon, one purchase happens, one commission gets paid out. The commission structure does not change the earlier you are. So if you get on early, you're not getting a higher commission than someone that gets on later. That's multi-level marketing. When you have a multi-level commission structure, that's multi-level marketing. And those are top-heavy. When you have a system that only one commission gets paid out per purchase, in our case, it's not even per purchase, even more strong than that, it's per staking. This is not multi-level marketing. It's a extremely unique and innovative referral structure that cannot be compared to anything in traditional markets or anything currently in DeFi. And in fact, it's even it's even more fair than even Amazon's referral structure, because if you are a large referrer and you have 5 or more direct referrals, your referral commission is reduced by 25% because that additional 25% goes to the person that you referred. It goes to your downline. So not only is it not concentrated capital at the top, it's dripping capital down to the downlines. And then there's also the stopping the stop measures put in place where a team can only be 15 levels down, which prevents capital from migrating all the way up chain to the early investors. That doesn't happen with drip. It has a round robin system where when it hits the top of a team, it circles back down to the person that did the direct referral. So not only is it not traditional multi-level marketing structure, which is legal. I mean, multi-level marketing is legal, but it's top heavy and not effectively sustainable. Ours cannot be compared to that. It cannot even be compared to traditional marketing, because we're even more fair than a traditional referral structure like Amazon uses, because the large referrals actually get a smaller commission, and that reduction goes to a bonus paid out to the person that they refer, and we absolutely stop capital from flowing upstream. So, the few criticisms that I see coming from some of these gatekeepers are just not accurate, and they're actually an inversion of what we are actually doing. Like, we are more fair than Amazon's referral structure. We're more fair than any of these major traditional companies' referral structure. And this is the point that I'm getting across to them. And it's going to take, it's going to take time. Like, education always takes time. But when we've been around for 2 years, when we've been around for 3 years, when we've been around for 5 years, eventually these people have to recognize. And they will recognize, but it's not going to take that long, because it's just a matter of educating. We have the facts on our side. We have the truth on our side. We have, good and integrity on our side. So these things are not going to take as long as they otherwise would if we were not working with that major advantage. So, as far as our vision, my vision is bringing true value to the existing chains and bringing all of the current financial products that are popular in traditional markets to DeFi in a way that's fully decentralized, in a way with integrity, in a way that's secure, and in a way that delivers an experience that is equal to or greater than what's available in traditional markets. And we're just going to keep knocking them down one at a time. I'm very excited about that. And we have the network effect, and we have the team to do that now. So, if you're like an influencer, or if you're someone that has a team, or whoever you are, if you're someone that cares about these projects, what you can do now is start explaining to people the value of our current products and start debunking the nonsense that that comes from people just kind of looking at a glance without taking time to understand our actual products. The new UI is going to help, right? The new UI with Drip's going to help because we can more clearly get our education and our info across. And that will be coming between Scratchy and between the Animal Farm launch. So Animal Farm launch will be on the 18th, Tuesday, 18th of October. And Scratchy will be launching about a month after that. So between the Animal Farm launch and between the Scratchy launch, we will have the new UI for Drip, and we have two unique products that we developed for Drip. But I'm thinking from a time perspective and being as efficient as possible with our delivery, I'm thinking that the way that we're going to do it is that Animal Farm goes live on the 18th, which is a major utility for Drip in itself. Then, a few weeks after that, the Dogs of Fortune game goes live, which has a major utility for Drip that everybody's going to love. And then, say a month after that, Scratchy goes live, which is another major utility for Drip. But so I don't think we're gonna actually launch those specific products to the faucet and to the reservoir, those contracts between the launch of Animal Farm and Scratchy, because we're gonna have 3 or 4 other products specific to Drip that will be launching in between those times, and you don't want to do everything at the same time. But we do definitely want to have the new UI built for it before Scratchy goes live. So the roadmap is going to be, let me just give a full roadmap here, like including everything. On the 15th of September, we will have the full landing page up, the full UI up, and dog crediting on the 15th. Between now and the 15th, you'll be seeing the landing page, the new UI go up, and heavy marketing within our community, because we have a very large community, right? We have over 150,000 investors. So it makes sense to spend a couple weeks speaking directly to them, because we want to invigorate and get our current investors prepared and up to date and ready to go, because it's been months, right? It's been like 5 months since we started this migration. So there's a ton of people that we need to get up to date. So we're going to spend a couple weeks specifically doing that, doing a ton of direct marketing within our community and within the people that have already gotten exposure to Drip and have already gotten exposure to Animal Farm, but maybe have stopped paying attention a month ago, or whatever the case is, or is just waiting for someone to let them know, okay, we're about to go live, we're about to do this. That's going to be our focus for the next 2 weeks, speaking directly to our community and our influencers, getting everybody ready, which is 150,000 plus investors, and educating them on how the dollars crediting process is going to go, getting the new UI up, getting the new landing page up. On the 15th, dollars crediting starts, and that's when we start having our direct focus marketing outside of our community. All of the banner ads, all of the major YouTubers outside of our community, the major Twitter influencers that are outside of our community. That's when we do that heavy focus. And we do that from the 15th of September to the 18th of October when we go live. Animal Farm goes live on the 18th of October. 2 or 3 weeks after that, we go live with Dogs of Fortune. This has, Dogs of Fortune, I could speak for an hour about Dogs of Fortune alone. But let's have a follow-up. Let me schedule something for next week, a voice chat, where I will get specifically into Dogs of Fortune. But Dogs of Fortune is a game unlike anything available in crypto today. There's nothing that is as well balanced, as fun, and a legitimate game. And it utilizes both pigs and Drip in the game. So that will be going live. And Dogs of Fortune will have its own UI, its own website. So what's very important for Dogs of Fortune is that people can access it through our Animal Farm site, and it's built on top of the pig pen. So it's giving a reason, incentive for people to get into the pig pen, and it creates new cash flows for people in the pig pen, and an even better game theory structure for the pig pen. But it's also attractive for people that know nothing about Animal Farm because when I started developing it as a standalone project, as its own major game. Building it on top of the Pigpen just creates more sustainability for both the game and the Pigpen. It raises the value of both exponentially. So that was the decision to make it on top of the Pigpen, but we want it to be attractive to people that have no clue about the Pigpen. So it's going to have its own website, its own UI, of course, and people will be able to deposit into it to buy into the game in both pigs, but also BUSD and BNB. But when they deposit with BNB or when they deposit with BUSD, what happens is the game uses that BNB or uses that BUSD to buy pigs, and then stakes those pigs on the user's behalf on the back end in the Pigpen, creating more value and locking up more pigs in the Pigpen and pumping that pig price. Now, when they play the game, they don't have to know anything about what's going on in the back end. They don't have to know anything about Animal Farm. As far as they're concerned, they bought in with BUSD, and they're playing the game. They're going to earn some of their rewards in pigs and some of their rewards in BUSD. Now, when they cash out of the game, the BUSD that they've earned in the game goes right into their wallet, and the pigs that they earned in the game gets staked in the Pigpen. So it associates their wallet with a Pigpen stake. So when they deposit into the game, the pigs are staked on their behalf and is controlled by the game wallet. And the BUSD that's being generated and the pigs that's being generated in the Pigpen from those combined game stakes goes into the game's pot. And then all of the assets that are being bought in the game also increase the game's pot. And there are multiple cash flows that are increasing the game pot outside of the Pigpen. But the Pigpen allows it to be sustainable for people that, because there's several ways that you can support a game, right? You can do play to win. You could do a buy-in. You could do like advertising partnerships, and you could build it on something to create a cash flow. We're taking advantage of all of these. So the game itself it's really like nothing else that is available in the space. So the game, the pigs that are staked on behalf of the user in the Dogs of Fortune game get staked on the Pigpen, whether they buy in with pigs, where those pigs get immediately staked, or they buy in with BNB or BUSD, in which case it swaps those for pigs and stakes on their behalf. And now that stake is controlled by the game contract. Now, when they decide to cash out of the game, the BUSD that they cash out goes directly to their wallet. The pigs that they cash out goes into a Pigpen stake associated with their wallet. This way, as people cash out of the game, it's not just putting more pigs in circulation, because we don't want to. So if someone wants to cash out of the game but doesn't want to take their pigs out of the Pigpen, we don't want to force them to do that. So the solution to that is the BUSD goes into their wallet, the pigs goes into their Pigpen stake. So a Pigpen stake that's not controlled by the game contract, that's controlled by their wallet specifically. And now they have the vesting, and now they're earning in the Pigpen. So we put so much thought into this and making it sustainable. But when we market the game, we're going to market the game both to Animal Farm users, but also to people that are just interested in DeFi games, which gives us exposure to a whole new market and a whole new investor base. But part of that is a full integration to Animal Farm, which supports Animal Farm. And when they cash out, part of their rewards gets staked, invested in Animal Farm on their behalf. So now they are, that fully onboards them into Animal Farm. So this will be coming, I would say, about 2 or 3 weeks after the Animal Farm launch. And we're going to have some demos. We're going to have demos coming out around the same time that Animal Farm goes live. The goal is that the UI for the game and all of that is available by the time Animal Farm goes live. So people that are investing in Animal Farm day one know what's coming. They can see the game already. That's about to go live in a few weeks. Now the game goes live. It creates a ton new cash flows, a whole new supportive game theory. It locks up more of our tokens, creates more utility for our tokens, including drip. And then the next step on the roadmap is the new drip UI. The new drip UI goes up, and then Scratchy goes live. Scratchy gives another massive utility for drip. It is massive in its own right. Right, we'll talk about Scratchy some other time. I don't want to take focus too much away from Animal Farm right now. But Scratchy is going to be massive for drip and Animal Farm, and it's important the new drip UI is up by then. Right, then Scratchy goes live, and anywhere from a few weeks to a month later, we're going to bring in the new drip contracts. So we're going to bring in the new contracts, the new products that support the faucet and the vault. This way, we're not cramming, 15 products launching in a 2-month period. We want to spread it out so something new is coming to drip and something new is coming to Animal Farm. And when I say drip and Animal Farm, I'm speaking both, not Animal Farm or drip. Everything we're launching supports both drip and Animal Farm, and we're set up right now to launch something new for both, 1 or 2 a month for the rest of the year, and beyond that, really, because if we do 1 a month, then we're going to be halfway into next year before we get them all out. So, and 90% of this is already developed. So we're going to be launching a new product every month or every other month up until the end of the year, and somewhere between halfway into next year to the end of next year. Stuff that we've already built. So, I mean, that's huge. There's no other dev team that can say that they're able, that they already have developed, and they'll be able to launch a new product for their platform every other month for the next year and a half, right? For the rest of this month and all the way to the end of next month. We already have that developed. And the reason for this, how we were able to do this, is because over the past 5 or 6 months, while we've been preparing Animal Farm and the Animal Farm migration, I've brought on multiple new dev teams that I've been working. This is why I'm doing 4 or 5 meetings every day, like multiple hour meetings, is because we have so much stuff being built by multiple dev teams at once. I wanted to take full advantage of the time we had from the, while we were preparing the migration from V1 to V2, and we've taken full advantage of our time. So, of course, I know everybody wants everything now. They want everything to be as soon as possible, but there's a major advantage to the way we did it, whereas we were quiet for about 5 months, but now we're about to go crazy launching new products every month or every other month for the next year and a half, with a major marketing team behind it, with a very large marketing budget, with a new UI dev who is, as you can see, like from this UI, is way above what we've done in the past. So, and previously, all the development has been done by me and BB. We brought on Sads for a while. He, to tell the truth, he was just not delivering at the rate that we needed, and part of the delay, part of why we had delays. So I essentially had to let him go, which, is part of running a business. It's a hard part of running a business, but the way I look at it is, do I give 10 chances to this one person at the expense of 150,000 investors, or do I put the 150,000 investors first because they put trust in our team, and they are the ones that are putting their capital on the line? And of course, it's an easy decision for me. We go with the investors. So really, it's the majority of everything we've done were just me and BB, and then of course a lot of the marketing was done by community. Guys like Ray, guys like Stunner. So now we have a massive team, right? And our team is extremely skilled, right? So the Scratchy devs, extremely skilled. Our CMO, 20 years experience. Stonecutter has been working for me for 5 years now. He was a mod. He was managing the community, everything for 5 years, and I wanted to bring him on as a project manager because he has experience managing. I don't want to dox him, so I won't give any information, but he has experience working as a manager. So he was already handling some roles. I brought him on as a member, a team member, and this is one of the reasons why we're able to do so much now is because we have someone that is handling communications between the teams, so we're all on the same page. We're just, I mean, we are in so much better of a place than we've ever been on all factors. So previously, it was me and BB. I came up with the game theory and most of the ideas, right? The logic of the system. He did a lot of the hard coding, and his main experience is Solidity and JavaScript, not React. And you need to be very proficient in React to build high quality websites. So that limited us in our ability to build high quality websites. But as I said, we brought on a developer who that's all he does is build institutional grade websites with React. So it's I couldn't be more excited. It's not just the products but the marketing. I'm extremely excited about the marketing, especially this competition that we developed. There's no one else doing anything like it. So I could keep talking. Do you have any more questions? I'm going to try to answer these next questions in a succinct manner.
Got you, bro. Okay, so somebody wants to know, this is a good question. Will there be any official tutorials when it comes to all of our content, drip, a faucet, garden, animal farm, piggyback, etc., other than the drip YouTubers, like any official tutorial content that people are going to be able to access, like on the different websites and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we were actually just speaking about that. So there's a very good content creator that creates animations, basically these kinds of animated drawing type of educational videos that we're going to have produced for our products that just do a great job of explaining them and explaining all of the mechanics in 3 minutes or less using animations. That is something that we're working on. But one of the main reasons why we did a new UI and we have a landing page now is to give educational material to the people that hit our site. That's what's wrong with our old site. You go to our old site and you're just hit with a bunch of products that if you're not coming from the community, you don't know how to use any of them. Like, unless you're someone that is, everything about DeFi, you're like plugged in, you're like a DeFi head, or you're coming from our community, you wouldn't know how to use them. But with the new UI and the new landing page, there's education about each product specifically, how to use them, how to take advantage of them, why you should use them, why it's the top standard in the space. All of that is on our new UI, and then we have especially in the Dogs of Fortune game, a type of sort of tour. It's like a pop-up tour where before you go to use something, when it's made available to you, a pop-up comes up which explains what it is. You click here to do this, click here to do this, this does this, you can do this, that kind of thing. And that's really the main point of creating the new UIs, is so we have a place where new users that are not extremely experienced in DeFi will land, and they're immediately having their hands held on how they can go from there to actually using our products. It's extremely important, and that's something that we've put a lot of thought into. This, I could go more into it, but everybody will see it in the next week or two when the new UI goes up.
Got it. And here's a good one. Would you be able to ask Forex if he can give a little bit more detail on how someone will be able to be a part of the mini REAP DAO? So yeah, so about holding REAP, we're gonna need X amount of tokens, and then also the like when we're gonna start pushing towards that.
Yeah, that will be happening before Scratchy goes live. So currently, to get into the REAP DAO, you need to have 300 REAP tokens, REAPs in ERC20. We've hosted 4 pre-sales in the DAO. They've all done more than 40x. They're all still highly performing to this day. We've had one that, or I should say, sorry, we've hosted 4. 3 of them have done 40x or more, and they're all highly performing to this day. One of them has not launched yet. Acquirify has not launched yet, but it has an amazing team, and it is set to do extremely well. In order to join the REAP DAO, you need to hold 300 REAP tokens, and you need to essentially use what's called CollabBot to get access to a private Telegram group. Right now, the cost of doing that is about $30,000. And the total supply of REAP, which is constantly deflating, means that there could only be a max 250, 300 DAO members. So this is fine, right? Because that means that all of the DAO members are like true believers in what we do. They're all, they all have a lot of money. Almost all of them are multimillionaires. So we have no problem raising capital in there. In fact, everybody's coming to us to raise capital because we have the ability to raise millions of dollars of capital in seconds, which, people that are just familiar with us don't realize the kind of influence that we have. There's other major development teams that have, that are founded by guys that have created and sold billion-dollar companies that were major Bitcoin companies that are now trying to raise capital for their project, a few $1 million, and they can't. They're stuck at like $200,000, $300,000, and that's it. So they're coming to us. People that have just worked with us probably don't realize that, but we have so much influence in the space. Like right now, if we needed to, we could raise $50 million. We could raise $100 million, like almost instantly. I would never do that because we don't need to do that because, I raise the minimal amount of capital we need to actually deliver something. But we have the ability to do that, and there's very few people, very few. Even these major VCs that they're going to are not raising that kind of capital, and not that quickly, and not for a user base that will actually be interested in those products. So raising capital isn't an issue as far as the limited amount of members that we can have in the DAO due to the supply of the token that people need to hold. And that was by design. We want to keep it exclusive. But having a slightly larger DAO and an opportunity for people that do not have as much capital, the people that are not multi-billionaires, that's something that I've wanted to do for a while. I want to give an opportunity to people that are investors that believe in what we're doing but are not multi-billionaires yet to get involved in our third-party capital raises and in our pre-sales. So the way that we're going to handle it is through an NFT distribution. We're going to create 1,000 NFTs which act as a ticket to our DAO. This will give you access to the DAO for a much cheaper buy-in price, at least initially. So the way that we're doing it is right now it costs $30,000, $40,000 worth of REAP to join the DAO. And the allocations that we give to people that wanted to get in pre-sales of the DAO, especially for like third-party projects, are significant. $20,000 caps, $58,000 caps. So what we could do is issue 1,000 NFTs that act as tickets. That way we can keep it exclusive. We know the max amount of new users that can join the DAO are 1,000, and then sell those NFTs for 1/10 of the price that you would have to pay to get into the tier 1. So they'll sell for $3,000 instead of $30,000. And then say on a pre-sale where tier 1, the people that hold the REAP tokens, say we do a raise where they get an allocation of 20,000, but they've paid